Hi, everybody. When I was a kid, my parents pretty much never let me miss a day of school. I had to be pretty sick to miss a day of school, and I went to school on several occasions pretty sick. And one particular day, though, I think was running an extremely high fever, and actually got to stay home. One of those rare days where I got to stay home by myself. I was probably about 11 or 12 years old, and I can remember in my fevered state lying in my bed, and I had heard a noise out in the living room and didn't think too much of it, but then I started to hear this low, slow grinding noise. It was an occasional kind of a grunt or a mechanical metal on metal or plastic on plastic grind noise coming from the living room. And I couldn't figure out what that noise was, but I was, again, so sick in bed I wasn't going to investigate it. And over the course of maybe 2 hours, I would hear this occasional grinding noise. And I began to convince myself that someone had broken into my house and was being very discreet in their attempt to sharpen pencils. Because they didn't want to be discovered sharpening pencils in my house, because, who knows. But so occasionally this pencil grinder in my house would grind as he went grinded, sharpen the pencil. And I'm clutching the sheets and I'm breaking out a sweat. And this is, of course, I'm already sick. And the phone is in another room, and I don't know how I'm going to communicate myself. And I'm afraid that if I start crying here any minute, he's going to come in and stab me with these sharp pencils, Well, I lied there playing out every scenario and looking at maybe going out the window or something like this at one point or whatever, or looking to see when would my parents come home, and it was 7 hours still to go or whatever before they showed up. So I was on my own. And I got to a point where I guess I thought, if I was going to be murdered by this person who broke into the house, I'm going to confront it face to face and just get it over with, because I was, again, feeling bad enough as it was. And I crept quietly, in my pajamas, and I turned the corner into the living room, and my youngest brother had a Habitrail. And the little hamster was grinding away every occasionally at some of the plastic parts within the Habitrail. And he did it in front of me, and that, of course, I now have a visual, cue as to what's making the noise. And was pretty much, so embarrassed that when my parents got home, I never mentioned it to anybody except for you folks just now. So this is the first time I think I've ever told that story of how I lied in bed, petrified, terrified, of being murdered by sharpened pencils. That's it.